Welcome to the new school year here at New Berlin West High School. This is Mr. Garland. I have a short introduction video for you to get prepared for the first day of class. Get rid of some of those jitters and understand what the expectations are ahead of time. So you can see the first day of class, no matter what Phy Ed class you are in, we're going to be in the field house. You can see we don't have locker rooms this semester. We'll get into that a little bit more later. In the field house, we'll have some socially distanced attendance spots that we'll use throughout the whole semester. On that first day, we'll take a look at that syllabus, and in detail, we'll look at the COVID procedures that we have in place, since this is going to be kind of a very unique school year for us. So I ask that you do come prepared. The first day, you can bring this stuff. We won't necessarily need it on the first day, but after the first day, this will be mandatory for you to have tennis shoes, to have activewear, and then the water bottle. We're going to try to be outside as much as we possibly can, and there aren't drinking fountains out there. So if you're somebody that likes to have water on hand, definitely consider that. But back to the tennis shoes and the activewear. Since we don't have access to locker rooms, you are not going to be forced to change into physical education clothing. If you would like to, you will be given the opportunity to safely change into clothes if you so choose. So we'll be sending students in waves to the restroom so that they can change while being distanced from others and remain safe. If you do choose to wear the same clothes that you wore to school, that's perfectly fine. But we are still going to ask that it's appropriate, right? It does need to be something that you can be physically active, right? If you're wearing sandals, if you're ever wearing slippers, to be running around in those is actually just not safe. And if you're wearing jeans or dress, something like that might not even be appropriate for physical education class. So please have clothing and shoes that are appropriate on hand every single day. It's going to be an increased level of responsibility this year. There's definitely more unknowns than we're used to, so please just check your email for announcements, check Canvas pages for announcements, and then if you have any questions, concerns, just anything you need to talk to me about, please don't hesitate. In terms of cell phones, Chromebooks, those things should just be away at all times. My classes never use cell phones, and then the only time that we use Chromebooks, we do use them occasionally for some quizzes. So unless I explicitly say, you should not see those devices out listening to music or just sneaking the phone into your pocket while we're being active. We do have some COVID procedures in place here. Here's just a handful of them. When we get into various units of activity, there will be specific procedures that we have in place. But generally speaking, we're going to be outside whenever we possibly can. If we're inside, whether we're active or not, masks are still going to be mandatory. The only time that they're going to be optional is when we're outside and we're socially distanced, right? Especially if we're active. Okay, I think we could all agree that wearing a mask while you're running, physically active, exercising is not ideal. So that's the only time that it will be optional. We will have sanitation stations set up in the field house so that when you enter in, you can wash your hands. We will be meeting back in the field house at the end of class. So you can then sanitize your hands one more time before you leave. Equipment, the classes before you, the classes after you, your own class, everybody will be sanitizing equipment that they use before and after. Some details about each class. So team and individual sports, whichever one you are in is going to function more like an individual sports class. You can see games like disc golf, tennis, pickleball, badminton, and definitely an increased emphasis on fitness. The extended class periods, regardless of whether COVID was around or not, fitness was going to become an increased focus in these classes because we have more time now. So we're going to stay away from the games like basketball where it's 5-on-5, or football where it's 11-on-11, or softball 9-on-9, those large-sided games. We're going to try to stay away from those as much as possible and go with the dual sports or 1-versus-1 games. Online physical education, real quick. Just need to make sure that you check your email in Infinite Campus for a welcome message. The Canvas page is live now, so I'd like you to take some time to explore and familiarize yourself with our class page. The first 2 weeks of that class, you will actually be given the opportunity just to get familiar with everything. And then the first unit is not going to go live until September 21st. Nutrition class. Our meeting place is in room 104. And as I said, for online PE, the Canvas page should be live. You can take some time to explore and familiarize yourself with our class page. But other than that, I will see you in room 104 on our first day so we can take a look at the syllabus, go over course expectations and procedures. And after watching this, I'm sure many of you still have questions. Please don't hesitate to get in contact with me. Best way is always going to be email, but phone is also a good way to get a hold of me as well. So thank you for taking the time to watch this introduction video, and we will see you next week. Bye.